30-year-old 5-0 Anthony Wint makes his third appearance with the promotion at Fury FC 117 on March 15th in Houston, Texas, against 6-2 Jamal Tatum. Anthony will prepare for his first professional main event and shot at the heavyweight title with boxing and head coach Diego Navarro down at Kill Cliff FC in Deerfield Beach, South Florida. Witness Anthony Wint.
Anthony Wint, undefeated heavyweight prospect, 5-0, fighting out of Kill Cliff FC. Got upcoming fight. We're going against Jamal Tatum in the Fury FC main event for the heavyweight title. Training's been really good. I feel like obviously this is my 9th camp, so including amateur. I feel like every camp I get more and more insight on how to be a fighter. I think it's not something I was born knowing how to do. My demeanor gets better. Obviously the camp gets better. My teammates, the way I train, the way I spar, the way I prepare myself gets better. So I think it's cliche for every fighter to say this, but this is the best camp I've had so far.
I want to be kind of like right here, but I want both feet to clear. Both feet to clear. There we go. Make sure they're on defense. Yes, there we go. You want to feel that. Yeah. No, see, you hit the corner. You got to be aware where you're at. There we go. But always wanting to counter. There we go. There we go. Good feet. Yeah, good feet. You don't want to hop too much. Switch. Now you come to this side, hook, and then to the other side, cross. And one on defense.
What do I think of my opponent? I think he's a really big dude. Obviously I fight at heavyweight, so a lot of good dudes are gonna be bigger than me, taller than me. I think he has heavy hands. I think he's prepared to fight. He's ready to fight. I don't think he would have took the fight if he wasn't game. But I think a lot of the guys that I go against just won't match my skill. They won't match my speed. They won't match my intensity. And it comes down to me protecting myself and being ready to, defend the brawler. So I think early on is when they're most dangerous. And as long as I get past the first 2 minutes, I'll be all right.
Well, we're looking for technique to get our base good, to get our balance good. Hook, there we go. Nice, cross, there we go. See how you're up here? I want a little bit more. I'd rather you just be right here. You don't have to get too high either, because then I'll go to the body. Always here, boom, boom. When you do these drills at first, you want to just get the muscle memory. So I don't really give a fuck about the speed. I care more about right reps. See, like right there, your chin shouldn't pass it. You should be more. Boom. The only time that I cross my feet is if you're going this way, I'll do this. But like going forward.
But I'm saying you don't like.
You can skip, but you were doing this.
You don't like feet close together. That makes sense. Yes, sir. So this camp, we're working with the team we formed over the last year or so. Diego Navarro, who's my head coach. He's my boxing coach as well. I think he has one of the best minds when it comes to the sport. Really passionate about it and has been really working with me on my power. My main training partner, Impa Kasanganai, who's a middleweight, probably one of the best middleweights in the world. Been really working on my mentality and just influencing me in everything he does, the way he walks, the way he carries himself as a man of God and a fighter as well. And obviously the whole Kill Cliff team. Countless guys. RDR helps me out in jiu-jitsu. A bunch of heavyweights we have at the gym. And then just a bunch of experienced guys who've been in the muck and been in the fire before telling me how I need to perform.
So that's the base of your combination. Jab, hook, upper, hook, cross. So before that you can go jab, double jab, and then I go bum, 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 bum. Boom, boom, boom. Slow, because you're gonna do reps.
Yep.
Slow. Make sure your body's fine. Boom, your balance is fine. There we go, there we go. Boom, boom, there we go.
See how I'm kind of stabbing you with? That's what you want?
Yeah, right here.
Or you want it quick?
It's just technique right there. Boom, everything's right. See how you're throwing the punch over there? Boom, everything's good. Boom, there we go. Boom, there we go. Boom, boom, there we go. 1, 2. Boom, there we go. Split. Boom, 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 boom. There we go, nice. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Nice, there we go.
Transition to fighting has gotten easier, but I tell people all the time, man, I think fighters are usually born, but to mold into a fighter takes a lot more effort. I didn't grow up fighting. I didn't grow up with an aggressive demeanor. I didn't grow up wanting to hurt people. Obviously, I played football, so I always knew how to compete. I always knew how to get after it. I always knew how to impose my will on people, but fighting's a different animal. I think when you're fighting, you have to go in that cage ready to kill someone, ready to take someone's head off, ready to be the only person walking out of there. And within the last 2 or 3 fights, I've really been able to, one, figure out what I desire and what I want and what my my goals are, and realize that through fighting, I'll be able to achieve all those things. So over the last couple of fights, I realized that losing is not an option, where it's hard to say, but in the past, I was okay with losing. I was okay with not performing at my best. I was okay with not, executing the game plan.
There you go, nice, one. Boom, nice, 1, 2, 3. Boom, 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 nice, one. Boom, split, boom, boom, cross hook, boom, boom, there you go. So now you go jab, hook, upper hook, cross, and then you can pick a side you go out to and then counter 3, 4 shots on the other side. And you get the side. But I want a lot of level changes and feints before you go.
Y'all really did that pot in that kitchen. You give me some sauce and I'm working it out. No, I don't have out for it. These niggas catches be hiding the.
How different is the person playing football to fighting? I think it's day and night. Football is a different animal. People ask me all the time, what is harder? And I think football takes a lot more athletic ability. I think football players are bred from the age they were 4 and 5. And throughout that process, until you get to obviously high school and college, the guys who don't really pan out are weeded out. Like obviously you get some outliers who, they work really hard and they become strong, they become quick. But most of the NFL is genetic freaks. When it comes to fighting, you get a mentality that you can't necessarily buy. You get something that takes trials, it takes the fire. It takes you understanding that this is your livelihood, that this man's trying to kill you, that you are responsible for your wins and your losses, and there's no one else to blame. And I think that mentality I've always had, but fighting has brought it out of me because of my will to do better and the will to please God and to make my teammates proud.
Cross hook. There you go. 1, 2. There you go. 1. Then I could go split. Boom. But don't come back to the middle. You always want to be on my sides. Left uppercut, right uppercut, right uppercut. But bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam.
Okay. Yeah. Bum, bum, roll, bum, bum, roll.
Yeah. Well, I miss, boom, boom. The third one, I'm going to go here. Boom. To catch you on the roll. So that's why you got to have different exits. Yeah. Boom, yeah. Because that's what Loma would do to people. Loma will make you go one way, and then when he see you go that way, he'll turn you and wait for you with the uppercuts. If you see, he never throws uppercuts in front of you. Very rarely.
Well, look at you making points, man. Good for you. You won that argument.
So?
That's one you for the year.
It's a discussion. I'm trying not to have arguments this year.
I'm proud of you.
Trying to be a better person.
You are. You're a great person.
That's a good audio clip right there.
I was babysitting my daughter.
Huh?
On a Tuesday.
You got a daughter?
You ain't tell me?
You didn't tell me.
We're all wrapped up with our 7 a.m. with Dieter. Man, solid work, always is. A lot of technical work, be honest with you, footwork. We did the rope, did the cutting corners, just getting the fine details of things. When I first started, that's all I really wanted, because I understand to be good, you gotta be good at the little things. We got a little bit of bad work, worked on splitting, worked on countering, worked on cutting angles, attacking the body, attacking the head, man, all aspects of the game. Now we're gonna take a little break, start again at 10, get with Robbie. We're gonna do some kickboxing stuff and then mix in some MMA and then probably do a cool down, light sparring. So solid Monday. Happy I don't gotta work after this, man, but it's been a solid day and I'm glad I'm getting better. When I get in that cage, like I said, it's one thing to physically prepare, it's another thing to be mentally prepared, but to be all together, you need people holding you together. It's not that I need people to show up for the fight. I need people to show up before the fight. Like, if I can't get the training, there's no way I can win. But since I got people who support me, they make it happen. So when I go out there, I can't lose, not just because of myself, but the people around me as well. So if I show up to my next fight the way I showed up my last fight, even though I knocked Buddy out in 30 seconds, I'm going to lose. Because my opponent saw that, and he's preparing for that guy. I got to be a whole different guy. Not that I got to change anything or start doing something different or change the game plan, but I got to be that much sharper. I can't be a dull sword that just keeps getting broken away. I got to keep refining myself. So that's the mindset I keep, man. I drive a lot. I work out a lot. I don't have a lot of free time, but praise be to God, one day he's going to grace me with everything I need, even though I got everything I need right now. So we are headed into Wawa. This is the after training spot, man. Like I said before, we finished up with Dieter. The sessions are always good, nothing too hard. I usually sweat, I'm a big sweater. I didn't sweat too much today, but we're going to refuel right here. I usually get like a smoothie, maybe a burrito or something. Impa come with me. It gives us time to chop it up too, man. I mean, sometimes I take a nap, sometimes I don't, but just getting through the training is usually about just refueling and resting, but not even just resting your eyes, resting your mind, resting your body, getting ready for the next session. So when I first got asked to fight through my old agency, First Round Management, I said no a bunch of times. And then I finally got to a place where I feel like if God put me in this place to do this, who am I to say to deny it or to run away? So I get super scared, I get super nervous, I'm super doubtful when it comes to getting in the cage and performing. But when I look at my life and the path that God's created for it, it makes too much sense for me not to walk it. And then I get into these fights and obviously injuries come up, doubts come up, circumstances come up, but I feel like God always makes a way. So I think fighting is a perfect example of not just the walk that I have, but it's an example of the walk people are having in their own daily lives. Whatever circumstances they're in, whether financial, family, injury, God gives us enough fuel to get through whatever battle we're going through. And it's with me with fighting, it's obviously, it'll be March 15th, and after that, it'll be another date and another date. But I like to have this saying where I believe that there's a fight every day. There's a challenge that you're gonna come across every single day. And when you come with the mindset that you've already won, there's nothing that can defeat you. So that's the mindset I take into fighting. I see myself as a champion already. I see myself winning multiple fights. I never see myself losing, but I have to walk into the obedience of doing the things that a champion does. I think winning a championship kind of puts a stamp and a cherry on top of the work that has been done before that. So I've been fighting since 2021, going on probably a little bit more than 5 years right now. My first 3 fights were for amateur belts, and I've never been a person of, memorability or keeping trophies or stuff like that. But I think it's awesome for the people who helped me get there, because I don't think I'm self-made. I believe that gyms I've been at, coaches I've been with, teammates I've trained with have been able to see me go through this journey, and to be able to see me with that belt around my shoulders or around my waist, they have a part of that as well. So for Killcliff, bringing another champion to the gym, even if it's on a regional thing, is a big thing. For my mom to be able to see a championship belt on my shoulders, or even just my little siblings or the people that I'm around get to see that, hey, this is somebody who's among us and was able to do something great. So not so much for me, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't care too much, but for the people that's around me, it'll be a big deal. It's easy for me to say I don't think about what the next step may be, or obviously getting to the UFC or becoming a UFC champion, but I am human. So those thoughts go to my head. I have visions, I have dreams, I have things I wanna do and things I wanna accomplish. But one thing I took from football is do your 111. So I just have to do my job. I have to be where my feet are, and I have to control what I can control, because I can hype myself up as much as possible. People can put me on prospect lists. They can rate me. I could be ranked the #1 prospect in Florida or the Southeast or even in the country. But until those gates close and my hands raised at the end, none of that stuff matters. I think fighting is the most honest sport you can be in, because there's no excuses to be made. Whether I'm way better than the person I'm fighting or I'm not as good, whoever wins that fight in those 15 minutes is better. So losing is not an option. If I were to lose, it will set me back too much. But I'm not too hyper focused on winning or winning a certain way. I think God's gonna create a path for me to learn and to grow in every situation, and I'm excited for that growth. I'm not so excited for the wins and the losses and the money, but I'm excited because I know God's molding me through this process He's taking me through.
He's big, he's pacing for a bit, he had good inside kicks. Obviously he's strong, but I'm quicker. I'm getting that stuff. March 15th. We doing the 20th? 7th. Good, dude? You need a pacifier? Before this guy. What's that? It's me? No. It's me?
I think fighters probably have the worst, the shortest end of the stick when it comes to being a professional. Obviously, I've never been in the NBA, I've never played baseball, but I assume it's similar to the NFL. And I think when you're a professional, the organization as a whole will take care of you. So when I was in the NFL, we got fed morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Obviously, as you're trying to make the team, they're putting you up in a hotel. All your travels paid for up front. Obviously, the team has masseuse or people who take care of you. And obviously, that's the NFL, who's been an organization for a very long time. Fighting is virtually pretty new. It's been around. The UFC's been around for the last, what, 40 years maybe? I don't know the date. But you're probably the lower spectrum of a professional. They call it a poor man's sport. So until you make it to UFC, and obviously some UFC fighters complain, you're not making a whole bunch of money. You're putting in a lot of work. You're your own boss. So you decide when you train, how you train, who you train with. And obviously some gyms are better than others. I think Kill Cliff is one of the best gyms I've been to. But it's tough. It's comparing it apples to oranges. You got to really have a very strong mind to be able to endure until you get to a point where you can take care of yourself and you can change your generations. You can make the millions. You can be like the Conor McGregors, the Israel Adesanya's. You can be like the Daniel Cormier's, the John Joneses, where they're embedded, they're planning into MMA for the rest of their lives, and they shouldn't have to worry about money. Most fighters get into it and they'll make a couple $100,000 or a couple $1,000, and then they'll be working another job the next month or the next day. So it's definitely different, but when you know where you're going, it doesn't matter about the process. It just matters about the goal you're going to. So the process can be as hard as it can be, but I know what God's promised me at the end of the road. So just going back and looking at my last fight, there was a lot that went into it. Obviously, I was fighting a really tall dude. He was 6'6", 6'7", probably the tallest dude I've ever fought. And one of the first times, and still only to a certain degree, where it's like, okay, I'm fighting someone who can't beat me. Majority of the time, I analyze my skill set, I analyze theirs. And I know unless they get a lucky punch, I'm gonna win the fight. But it was a big, tall dude who had knocked out people before, so I really had to dig deep into myself to figure out, how are we gonna win this? And I did a lot of praying, a lot of searching, a lot of reading. And the story it reminded me of was David and Goliath, funny enough. I'm 5'11", he's 6'7", so easy story to go to. And obviously, the part of the story with David and Goliath that people don't understand is David hit him with the rock on the head, he fell down, but then he took his sword and cut his head off. So fast forward to the end of my fight, obviously, when I was more motivated than anything, just because I understood the risk that I was taking, not just in wins and losses, but if I win this fight, the next step is getting closer to the goal of making money for my family and providing and being able to honor God even more. So I was more motivated than I ever was, and God gave me more clarity on what was going to happen. So that was the first time I really felt like, hey, I'm gonna knock this dude out and there's nothing he can do about it. And obviously, knocking him out in 29 seconds, kind of pushing the ref off of me, grabbing the sword and cutting him off. Man, it was a big moment for me because I had never felt that type of passion when it came to fighting. I've always kind of just been nonchalant, doing my job, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and then going back to work the next day. But that was the first time where I really felt like, no, you can do this. You can entertain, you can talk, you can fight, and you were born to do this. So it was a huge moment for me. I know it was a huge moment for everybody else. I think UFC Fight Pass posted and they got about 400,000 likes or views or whatever. So I mean, it really was like me putting my foot in the MMA media and just the MMA world, and I'm ready to do the same thing on March 15th. So it changed my mindset as far as like what I'm capable of when it comes to fighting. Just wrapped up here, Kill Cliff FC, Monday practice. Morning was good, man, training was good, body felt great. Robbie gave us a lot of drills. Herbert came in with the jiu-jitsu. A lot of good stuff, man, a lot of technical stuff. We worked on the back. I just feel like I keep getting refined. Obviously, I got choked out a good amount today by Delano. But, man, it's just the ability to learn. I like it for it to happen here rather than a fight. And it's great to be around so many great competitors, great champions, because you get to learn every single day, man. Being with the best in the world, there's nothing that beats it.